Once the TODI is recorded, and I'll get into the definitions and the recording requirements and things like that in just a minute, it's important to remember that a TODI is revocable by the owner. The owner has the right at any time to change her mind and revoke the TODI. Selling the property revokes the TODI. Although we do recommend, if someone is going to sell the property that is subject to a TODI, that they file a revocation first before the deed is recorded, transferring the property, just to make it clear that the TODI is being revoked. In order to do a TODI, like in order to do a will or to do a power of attorney or to do a living will declaration, the owner of the property must have contract capacity to do so. It's the same level of capacity as would be required to draft a will. They must be of 18, they must be of sound mind, they must not be under any sort of force, coercion, or undue influence, and they must understand the nature of their actions. As I mentioned previously, a TODI may be revoked at any time while the owner of the property is still alive and still has the capacity to do so. The revocation may be done by another TODI, which will revoke the previous one, or an instrument of revocation that is recorded. That's simply a document that says, I revoke the TODI, signed on this date, recorded with this recording number. Typically, the revocation will have the same formalities. It must be signed by a owner of the property who has the capacity to do so. It must be witnessed, it must be notarized, and again, it must be recorded. Interestingly, a TODI is not revoked simply by destroying the TODI. Simply by destroying the recorded document, that is not a revocation. Unlike, say, destroying your will be a revocation of your will. The reason for that is because it's recorded. If the document, same thing with a deed. If you record your deed and then you inadvertently destroy the deed, it doesn't revoke the deed. It's still recorded. It's still the public record. You simply go to the recorder's office or go on their website and print a new one. Same thing with a TODI. Simply writing revoked on the face of your TODI is not a revocation once it's been recorded. A provision in a will that says, I hereby revoke my TODI, is not a revocation because the TODI supersedes the will. Just like joint tenancy supersedes a will, just like a land trust supersedes a will, a TODI supersedes the will.